What's happening, boys? Will Freeman, RevolutionaryLifestyleDesign.com. Coming to you today to talk about how to build the identity you want to build. This is a big thing, and it's something that a lot of guys get wrong, a lot of self-improvement coaches get wrong, because you have to be able to see what an identity is to be able to change it, okay? And to be able to see what an identity is, you have to understand the nature of reality. If you want to understand the reality, you have to go to the real gurus like the Buddha. And the Buddha says existence is temporary and transient. And in my experience, your personal reflection of existence is from one state to the other. From one, you've got this consistent consciousness, and then you've got this stream of emotions and stream of thoughts and stream of sense perceptions, like seeing things and feeling things. And it's just one state after the other in your life, okay? And if you want to see what a person looks like before they've constructed identity, just look at a little kid or a baby. The shiny thing over there, captivates their attention, and then the other thing captivates their attention, and they're crying and they're happy within the next minute. But there's no consistency between those two states because they don't have an identity. They are just experiencing the world from a perspective of almost pure consciousness, okay? And if you look into enlightenment and things like that, that is the idea, is to move beyond your identity and back to that state of pure experience. But that is, of course, beyond the scope of this video, as I'm not an enlightened being, not yet at least. And so to be able to navigate the world, at least for our purposes, as we get older, we develop this identity. And the difference between a person who's positive and negative almost always comes back to their identity. And they were either programmed with a negative identity, or they were, it's either, or they experienced negative experiences from other people and they developed a negative identity. And in reality, though, it's all a facade. It's all a facade. I'm coming to you, talking to you as this personal development guru or whatever, but it's just an identity that I created, and it's one that I've consistently projected every single day, and I've tried to add value so that you buy into this, okay? In reality, all of our identities are illusions, okay? Look at the game of life as this giant MMO, like a multiplayer online game like Warcraft or something, and we're all sitting here with these avatars. This is my avatar right now, Will Freeman, the personal development guy. But before that, I had my old name, and before that I was a little boy, and then a student, and then a trader, and then a salesman, and now I'm this, okay? Because I chose those identities, and now I chose this identity, and my lifestyle and what I project reflects that identity back to me, okay? And that's just an example of identity creation, because your identity is really just your persona, okay? And persona comes from the Greek word for actor's mask. This is my actor's mask, okay? I don't just say every fucking thought that I feel. If everyone said just every thought that they felt, the world would be absolute chaos. It would be absolutely insane. So everyone develops this persona where you choose to identify with certain thoughts, okay? That is the motherfucking key to building the identity you want. You have to understand how an identity is created, and that identity is created by the thoughts that you choose, okay? You are the thoughts that you identify with. Your identity comes from the thoughts that you identify with. We all have anxiety, shame, fear, all these thoughts just boom, 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 all day, just powering through, right? However, when you don't let those thoughts in, when you just say, okay, that's a negative thought or that's a fearful thought, but that's not me, I don't identify with that, then you're creating that positive identity. But when you let those negative thoughts become a part of you and you say, I'm scared, I'm ashamed, I'm worthless, you know, then you are identifying with the negative thoughts and you're projecting a negative identity, okay? The more you identify with positive thoughts, the more positive your identity becomes, okay? That's really all it is. That's really all it is choosing the thoughts to identify with. And it's being able to have the creativity to reframe some of the negative thoughts into positive, okay? You know, you might not be the richest or the biggest or the most handsome, but when you use your creativity, you can always reframe to a positive identity. Whatever you have going, every single one of you guys has something positive going on, or something positive that you're going to be working on in the future, or some way of helping people, or some way of, you know, living in the light as opposed to living in the fucking darkness identity. And you never want to be in that fucking darkness identity, okay? You know, this is hell. This is hell to live in that identity where you think you're worthless and you think you're depressed and all these different variables. You gotta live in the light of that fucking positive identity if you want to be able to enjoy your life, okay? I'll give you an example. When you identify with fear, you become scared. When you identify with strength, you become brave, all right? And that's the only difference between a coward and a courageous guy, is the courageous guy chooses to identify with being brave. Okay, every single soldier on the battlefield is fucking terrified, or the terrified thoughts are coming. The terrified thoughts are coming to them in their consciousness, and they're experiencing them. But the courageous guy, the General Patton, says, fuck that, I'm strong, I'm brave, I'm gonna run into that enemy fire. The cowardly guy says, fuck being brave, I'm scared, I'm gonna run away, right? He identifies with the fearful thoughts, the brave guy identifies with the strong thoughts. That's all there is. That's all there is, because everyone feels negative thoughts, everyone feels fearful thoughts, everyone feels shameful thoughts. But the winner chooses not to identify with them. He says, fuck that, I'm gonna identify with the courageous, the strong, the light, the bright, you know, God in my life. The negative person is just fucking everything's garbage, I'm fearful, I'm negative, life is worthless, life is pointless. We all have all of those thoughts. It's just what you choose to motherfucking identify with that determines who you become. And you have to do it every day. You have to consciously protect that identity and consciously keep creating this positive identity for yourself to project to the world and also to project to yourself, okay? You know, what you gotta understand is that every single person is in an invisible war that you can't see, okay? Every single person is in an invisible war that you can't see. Every guy that you look up to is in an invisible war that you can't see. And he's gonna have demons that you don't have. And you might have demons that he doesn't have. Everyone has their different demons. You know, and some people are really great at you know, dealing with certain things. Other people are really great at dealing with other things. But you can't see what the guy's internal reality is, okay? You can't see how many negative thoughts that he has or what he's fighting off. I counted them. I have at least 1,000 negative thoughts a day. And that was before I lost track. But you know, within an instant, the vast majority of them are reframed. Okay, when I was younger, when I was 20, I would fall into these depressive states all the time. I haven't fallen into a major depressive episode for probably the last, I think, decade, okay? Because I learned how to control that, and I learned how to upgrade my state, and I learned how to, you know, eat better and do all these things to make sure that I'm living in like, you know, positive reality. And I created a job that I like, so, you know, I created a situation where I can live in nice weather. All these different things that I added on to it, that I added on to the positive identity that I want to project. Okay, and I project that positive identity wherever I go, or I try my best to. Whether it's you know, a guy I run into on the street, or whether it's the checkout girl at the grocery store, whether it's talking to you guys, whether it's talking to anyone, I want to project that positive energy, that positive identity to wherever I go, because that makes other people more happy, and it also reinforces the fact that I'm you know, this positive guy, and you know, that it reinforces the way that I view myself. Okay. Another example, all right, is we got to go back to the fact that this is the avatar. You know, if you're a video gamer, it might be a really good frame for you to think of your persona, your actor's mask, as your avatar in this massive multiplayer game of life. And the logical thing to do is level up your avatar as much as you can. Okay, I don't play Warcraft, but I know that you can, in Warcraft, you can level up, you can buy the armor, and you can buy the sword, and you can buy this, that, and the other thing. All right, but instead of fucking leveling up on motherfucking Warcraft, level up in real life, man. Level up your body, level up your physique, level up the way you speak, level up your wardrobe, level up your income, level up all those different areas, right? Let the other guys play in the fantasy world, okay? Right? The more guys that are off in that fantasy world, the better it is for you and me, because the more opportunities are here in reality. All right? So you want to level up your avatar. I created this avatar that I'm talking to you now, and I get paid passive income to do this. I used to be just, you know, another salesman. All right? But I knew that I could create this thing, and I spent a long time projecting it. I spent a long time researching and doing the work and constantly building that every single day. So like, the bigger the avatar you want, the more work you have to do, and the more you have to create, and the more you have to project. But start small. Start just one more positive thing every day. Doing one more positive thing for your identity. Trying to reframe every single negative thought that you have, so that you don't slip into any depressive states. You know, trying to make sure you go to the gym and everything, so that you have this identity of this guy who's winning at life, or this guy who's, you know, doing well. I want to give you an example of what was one of like the major identity creations was Mick Jagger. Okay, you go back to like the 1950s when Mick Jagger was in school in England. He was just like upper middle class, very skinny, very effeminate, public school boy. All right, and public school in England means it's actually like the same as private school in North America, where you paid to go to school. And he was in art school, and he wanted to play black R&B blues music, right, which hadn't been done. And there were no rock stars back then. And he said, I'm gonna play this music, and I'm gonna become this rock demigod, and I'm gonna merge it with, you know, rock and roll. I'm gonna merge the blues and R&B. And the skinny little white guy said, I'm gonna become this rock demigod. And he's skinny and effeminate, and they started growing their hair out, and he became pretty much the first rock star. He created that. He was just a skinny little public school boy from England, and he said, I'm gonna sing black music, I'm gonna do it on a massive level, I'm gonna grow my hair out, I'm gonna wear makeup, and everyone's gonna love it, and I'm gonna become this rock star, which hadn't even been invented. And then he became the fucking icon, Mick Jagger. He became this identity. For anyone else, the shit that he was doing would look ridiculous, but he had the strength of mind and the musical talent, and took the chances, and was able to create that massive fucking insane identity. All right, now that option is not open for everybody, but that just goes to show you what is possible. All right, so maybe your possibility is just creating the identity of a guy who's really stylish and cool, and has his own business. That's positive. That's 100% possible within the realm of identity creation. What you don't want to be is the guy who just thinks of himself badly. My identity is, I was never popular. I'm fucking worthless. I have nothing to offer the world. Okay, those two identities of like the guy who's a winner and I'm moving forward, or the guy who I'm worthless and I have nothing to offer the world, could have been from the same guy. They could have been from the same guy. Except one guy chose to identify with the negative, and one guy chose to identify with the positive. All right. So the motherfucking key to this thing is choosing to identify with the positive, and then choosing to create the kind of identity you want, and choosing to identify with the positive thoughts that you want, and to create the reframes to the negative thoughts, and to be able to do it within the boundaries of reality. Okay, A lot of guys email me with, Will, how do I develop superhuman confidence and this and that? This is not possible because you're not superhuman. But you can develop the fucking high end of human confidence, all right? You can develop the high end of positivity. You can develop the high human end of, being able to create income. All that stuff is within your reality. So that's where you have to aim first, all right? Aim for what is possible within your reality, and then as you get to the next level, then you level up your avatar more. So you go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, and then when you get to level 4 or 5, and then you can really become even greater. All right, just don't do everything at once. Just go from one step to the other. All right, a little bit more positive every day, a bit of a better identity every day, and work from there. Okay, the key. This is the key to all fucking personal development, is be vigilant. Vigilance. Like I said, when you become very aware of your thoughts, you might have like 1,000, 2,000 negative thoughts a day that you have to reframe. And it's relatively easy to do one negative reframe. Okay, when you're feeling all right, a negative thought comes up, you're like, nah, I'm productive, I'm not gonna worry about that. But to do it every day consistently, to do it and to always be conscious of like, okay, I'm getting caught up in negativity, that is difficult. It is difficult. The vigilance every single day, running that marathon of being positive, is fucking difficult to do it all the time. However, it is the most important motherfucking skill in your life. If school was actually useful, which it's not, 7 out of 8 of your classes a day would be on how to stay positive, on how to control your state, all right? The key to state control is vigilance. Be vigilant about creating that new identity. Reframe that identity every day. Do your affirmations every day. Constantly be projecting that positive identity. Constantly be stretching yourself. Constantly be walking in the light instead of in the darkness. Constantly be congratulating yourself. Constantly be talking to yourself, in a gentle way. Constantly be helping yourself. Constantly be achieving and aspiring for higher, and constantly be building up the kind of identity and the kind of reality that you want to live. And that's what you got to do, and you got to do it every day, and that's all there is to it. All right, that's how you get ahead in the game of life. That's how you level up your avatar. That's how you become the man that you want to be. And that's it for today, my man. As always, I wish you all the best in your personal development journey, and I want to thank you for watching this on YouTube. Listen to it on iTunes, listen to it on SoundCloud, or checking out the article over at revolutionarylifestyledesign.com. And much love to you, my man.